about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. You turn my morning into dancing. 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 Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything.
Yo, happy Friday, everybody. Come on. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Um, I'm happy to be with you this morning. And it's beautiful outside, like always. Ken Gooch is in the house. Good morning, sir. Chuck B. In the house, I mean online, right? He's in his house. Jody, good morning. Bert Reggiani, miss you, man. Vivian Davis, good morning. Connie, uh, Alice, Karen, and Dave Donnelly, good morning to you all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is a beautiful day. It is a happy day. We're talking about living sent, one of my favorite topics, as you all know. But so today um, I was thinking about this thing that happened. So I had this conversation with this group of folks, um, and the one in particular, was telling us a story about something that happened over the weekend or happened, and she felt bad about it, right? So, um, yeah, she felt like she was in a car with a bunch of people who had different opinion than her, right? And she thought, I wasn't in the car obviously, but she thought that she expressed her views too harshly or whatever. She felt uneasy. She felt like there was issues in that, like there was a fence that could have come out of that um, car ride, that interaction or whatever. And uh and it was so cool because she verbalized it, right? And she was just like, I need to do something, whatever. But then, like, I don't know. Yeah, I think it was in that conversation that we're having, that the somebody else in that, well, there's two people. So one of the person was in the car and they're like, no, I didn't see any of that. It was totally fine. Like, or two of the people, they were like, no, like you were fine. Like there's no offense, whatever, whatever. And then the other person that wasn't in the car, or that was in the car that wasn't in that conversation, had texted, and basically like, hey, I had this check, I wanted to make sure we're good, right? Like there's no offense, there's no anything like that. And I just thought, man, this is beautiful, right? Because so often, especially like in today's kind of like political climate, where like people are like at their ends, what I mean? Like so many people are just like, oh, don't talk to me, um and it's a lot of it is because of the media, right? The media paints this picture of like, all right, if you support this candidate, if you support this candidate, then this is your character, this is what they are, right? And we have these stereotypes with like people's choices or whatever, and we never invite them to the table and to say like, Well, tell me why. Like, what's this candidate, have done, or you've seen, like, that has got your support, right? Because at the end of the day, there's some values that we hold, right? And a lot of times those values are the same as ours, right? But we might differ on policy, we might differ on, like, the solution. Like, I think this is a better solution for this issue, or this value that I have, right? And but if we just say, "Oh, they're evil, they're this, they're that," right? And we just shove them off, and we never go in, like Matthew says, like, if we just even think that there's an issue, like these people in this situation, like, they just thought it. They were like, you know what? I better check in. I better make sure. Hey, we good, right? And I'm like, that's beautiful, and that's what the body is supposed to do. And that's what we should be doing, right? In the midst of chaos in our society, in the midst of this election and all these things. Let's not shut people out. Let's not push people away and say, well, they just fit in this box, right? And so I'm staying away from anybody in that box. Like, no, like, wait, there's actually relationship here. Let me push through, and actually have that tough conversation, right? I love it too, because, like, Jesus talks about how our love, like the world is going to recognize that we're disciples of Him by the love that we show one to another. Like how we love each other is how, like, the world recognizes that Christ is real. Like, that is crazy, right? That doesn't sound right. Why doesn't it sound right? Because we have this superficial, like, view of love. We think love is this feeling, right? Like, man, I every time I'm around this person, I bubble up, all that stuff. And I feel like in our society, so many marriages end in divorce. Why? Because they have this superficial thing of love, and they think, like, oh man, well, the feelings are gone, and so now I just gotta, I don't know, we're not in love anymore, we're no longer compatible, whatever. And so, like, you see all these marriages ending in, like, 6 months or a month. Um and and obviously there are a lot of marriages where there's trauma, and there's abuse and all that stuff, and that's what I'm not talking about. That I'm talking about, anyways. Um and but the reality is love is not like, love is like my actions despite how I'm feeling. You know what I mean? Like, there have been so many seasons in Adrian and I marriage where it, like, the feelings were gone. Like, feelings were like, what the heck are we doing? You're like, we obviously hate each other, the way we treat each other, right? That's what it seemed. But, like, what do we do despite that? Despite, like, how I'm feeling, despite how you're treating me, despite how I'm treating you, like, what are my actions doing? Right, that's where it's like, dang, man, I said that to her, and this is her response, right? And, like, man, conviction. Right, it's so love goes beyond feelings. Love is action. Love is moving, and that's what Christ has done for us, and that's what we need to be representing to a lost and dying world. That hey, despite you throwing me in the fiery furnace, I'm gonna smile, and I'm gonna love you back, right? I'm not gonna return evil for evil, right? Your sin against me is not gonna produce sin in me. I'm going to always bleed love. I'm always going to show grace, mercy, um, you know, and that's the response of a Christian. That's our response. And so, as this, it's chaos, as the political climate, just intensifies, and all this other stuff, our our you know I don't know the word. How we should be, how we should act. Our countenance should be always pursuing, should be always pushing in, always trying to have the conversation, and going in for understanding, and trying to see through the lies, right? Like, hey, this person is trying to give me a lens of who you are, but I reject that. I want to see who you are, right? I want to see who God says that you are. And so that is my encouragement for us today. Let's live sent, right? Let's push, let's have those tough conversations. and walk through, like, yeah, maybe people have said some crazy off the wall stuff, to you personally. Let's push past the offense and love them anyway. All right, that's it, y'all. I hope this was a blessing and an encouragement to you. Hey, I think my mother-in-law, oh, my mom popped on here. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And Rob, good morning. Christy Pipes, good morning. All right, y'all. Come on, Rob. Hey, man. Thank you, brother, for bringing it. Awesome message. God blessing. Come on. Thank you, sir. All right, that's it. We'll be back here at 9 for some prayer. Make sure you tune into that. But yeah, have a great day. Live sent. Let Jesus be seen in you today, everywhere that you go. All right. Peace.